When it comes to writing your job application as a new Band 5 midwife, tends to be a really tricky time, doesn't it? We've got dissertations, the end of placement, you're kind of knackered because you've just done 3 years, but it's amazing. You should be really celebrating because you've got this far and you're applying for a job and money is in sight and this is going to be cool. But I know it can feel like one more task than the task is really important and you need to do it and you need to pay attention, but maybe you don't have the resources. So what I'll say, the number one thing that happens when people come and do a one-to-one session with me for personal statement writing, and that can be, so there are different ways of doing things, but most trusts, if you apply via track or something like that, if you're getting an NHS Band 5 position, they'll ask for about 1,500 words and they'll call it like supporting information, or what's the other thing? Yeah, they'll talk about like discuss your particular talents and strengths and what you can personally offer, and then give you like a box to write about that stuff. Or sometimes they will go through really specific things like I've got some questions here: reasons why you're applying for the post, details of any relevant experience gained in either paid or voluntary capacity, details of any training, education or other interests relevant to the post, and details of personal attributes. But like they don't want you to repeat stuff that's in the other part of the application, which is like a box filling exercise. So all of that stuff is really, really similar, and everybody's supporting information should cover the same kind of territory. But what can be crushing, what can stop people doing a good job of this, is the red herring of trying to stand out. And the problem with that is whenever we're trying to write something important, we've got this whole 3-year minimum background behind us of getting to this stage. It is a really important thing that we get this job, and sometimes we want a job in a particular trust and there's so much pressure. That feeling can just put the fire out in your writing because you neglect to show. All you need to do is show them what you can offer for women, clients and families in your care, what you can offer to that trust, and there will be brilliant things about your personality. You may have bits and pieces that stand out, like you're going to have a piece of writing published or something like that, but if you attempt to somehow stand out, like anything that can be heralded by trumpets is going to be somewhat crushing to the flow of what you need to achieve to get this application written, and that's generally the thing that's most in the way. So I would sequentially move through, be really structured, offer information about the clinical skills you've gained, the number of births that you've done, the type of births, the complex care, the midwife-led care, water birth, intermittent auscultation, CTG interpretation, and then you can talk about things like emergencies, documentation. You can begin to discuss some of the things in your academic training at university that helped you, so maybe reflections or helping clients achieve informed choice with particular research that could be accessed, whether you've been out with specialist teams, for different areas. If you have aspirations in the future, this is for a Band 5 position, so be really clear about wanting to achieve those preceptorship goals and getting to Band 6. But if you do have future aspirations, they'll be really excited to hear about that. And then you just do like a little bit on personal experience or previous career experience, a tiny bit on what you do outside of work, and that's it. And that's enough. Like that, well written and truthful and honest and in a professional yet engaging tone, that's plenty. So I hope this is helpful. Leave me a comment if you have a specific question about writing a Band 5 application, and just give yourself a bit of grace and make sure you write it and then give it a couple of days and then go back to it. That's often a really good way of doing things. Sometimes people have to write them that evening, and I've definitely seen people get positions like that can be like a real energy around getting that kind of thing done. Just make sure you rest afterwards. I know I'm asking you to rest in a really difficult period of time where you've probably got a million things on, but yes, you can get your application done in one evening. Yes, you will need to rest afterwards, or else, in my experience, maybe you're bionic, maybe you're a super person, but in my experience that stuff catches up with me. But yeah, those are some of the ways of thinking about writing a personal statement for a Band 5 position, and I guess getting somebody to read through it is a really good idea before it goes off as well. So if you know any lawyers, teachers, professionals that communicate via written means those kind of people in your life, get them to read through before it goes off. And yeah, congratulations again and good luck.